Welcome, film industry professionals, film buffs, and aspiring filmmakers. I'm your host, Fernando Gillen, and our lovely co-host, Dana De La Camera. This is the Cinema Pathway TV show, presented by Paradoxical Films and brought to you by Cine Videotech. Join us on this journey behind the camera and, most importantly, beyond what we know about cinema and the craft of filmmaking and all its mysteries. So please, take a seat, grab a soda and some popcorn, and join us on this cinema road together, because we are the Cinema Pathway TV show.
Welcome back to the Cinema Pathway TV show. I'm your co-host, Dana De La Camera, and today it is truly an honor and a privilege and a pleasure to have a true community activist championing the film community on here in Miami, and it's global, right? The Miami Film Festival is global, so please help me welcome the Executive Director of the Miami Film Festival and the GEMS Film Festival, Mr. James Woolley.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here.
James Woolley was appointed Executive Director of Miami-Dade College's acclaimed Miami Film Festival in 2024, marking a pivotal chapter in both his career and the festival's storied history. With nearly 2 decades of expertise in festival leadership, programming, and marketing, Woolley brings a visionary approach to one of Miami's most influential cultural institutions, where he now guides its artistic direction and strategic growth. His career has been defined by an exceptional ability to connect filmmakers and audiences, curating projects across genres and styles while presenting them in world-class venues that celebrate both creativity and cultural exchange. Woolley's passion for cinema can be traced to his roots. Born in Australia into a family deeply connected to the arts, he grew up surrounded by a vibrant film culture. His grandparents were devoted subscribers to the Sydney Film Festival, a tradition that became part of family life. It was at the festival that his parents attended many of their early dates, weaving film into their personal history and eventually into their son's upbringing. This environment instilled in Woolley not only an appreciation for cinema as an art form, but also a deep understanding of its power to inspire dialogue, empathy, and community. After earning a bachelor's degree in creative arts from Macquarie University in Sydney, Woolley entered the film festival world from the ground up. His first roles provided him with a comprehensive understanding of how festivals operate, from logistics and programming to audience engagement. Over the years, he steadily advanced through leadership positions, contributing his skills and vision to more than 20 major festivals, including those in Sydney, Melbourne, and Brisbane. These experiences shaped his reputation as a respected leader with a keen eye for both artistic innovation and organizational strategy. In 2017, Woolley took on the role of Head of Marketing and Customer Relations at the Sydney Film Festival. His tenure there was marked by a period of significant growth and transformation. Through his strategic leadership, the festival not only rebranded itself, but also broadened its reach, attracting new audiences and solidifying its position as one of Australia's premier cultural events. His success in revitalizing the Sydney Film Festival further cemented his reputation as a leader who could balance artistic integrity with forward-thinking audience development. Most recently, Woolley served as executive director of Frameline in San Francisco, the world's longest-running LGBTQ+ film festival. At Frameline, he oversaw the festival's expansion in global profile, introducing fresh programming and strengthening audience engagement initiatives. His leadership ensured that Frameline continued to serve as both a celebration of queer cinema and a platform for diverse voices with the global film industry. Now at the helm of the Miami Film Festival, Woolley is poised to elevate its international programming and expand its influence both locally and globally. He is committed to deepening the festival's relationships with filmmakers, distributors, sponsors, and the Miami community, while ensuring that the Miami Film Festival continues to be a vital space for cultural dialogue. His blend of experience, vision, and passion for the arts positions him to lead the Miami Film Festival into a dynamic new area of creativity and exchange.
And the Cinema Pathway TV show So we like kind of where it all started and your background and when you were a kid, because I know you're from Australia. So how was that growing up? What was your foot into the art?
I think I've just always loved film and always loved TV, but I think all kids do. And but as I kind of finished school and wondering what I was going to do, I was a little lost and not sure. The appeal of working in the arts just sounded way more fun and sounded really exciting and something that would be really, really great to do. And I ended up kind of finding this college degree that was like arts management meets creative practice. And at the end of it, you were like destined to go lead an arts company. And I thought, wow, that's really interesting and unusual.
Destined to lead an arts.
Exactly,
I love that.
And so it was kind of fun because yes, you were creating, but at the same time you do like a couple of hours of that and then you'd go off and do spreadsheets and P&Ls and how to apply for grants or talk to donors. And so it was a very different kind of world that you were mixing. But I felt that it was really good to kind of get the business side of it. And I've kind of found that that's just as fun as the creative practice, which I think some people would think is crazy. But it is actually really enjoyable sometimes to set goals and achieve them and work out how to make something financially sound, you know? So
I think there's an art to even doing that,
exactly.
Right?
Precisely right.
To finding the opportunities and seeing where you can make the improvements and expand the outreach and everything.
But really, I know I'm in film festivals because I just want to see the movies and I want to see them as soon as I can. And that's really it. And that's what I get to do.
You get to do business and you get to do art at the same time.
Exactly.
So it's kind of like marrying the best of both worlds together.
That's right. So, and look, sometimes follow your childhood passions and they can come true, you know? It's a bit of a strange thing.
That's right. Speaking of childhood passions, what did you see for yourself?
I wouldn't say necessarily, no. I would say that I saw being involved in somehow, maybe probably more like on set as a filmmaker, but I actually found that I enjoy the creation of festivals to be creative and enjoyable as well. And I think I found my niche. I'm pretty happy with it. People often ask me, do I want to go off and make films? And the answer is not anytime soon. So I didn't think I would see this, you know, I don't think I would have guessed it. But as soon as I went to my first big film festival, which was Sydney Film Festival many years ago, I was like, wow, this is actually kind of magic. And I never really looked back after that. It was just really, really fun.
So with the Sydney Film Festival, was that something that your family was involved in?
Yes. So my grandmother was a subscriber in the 1960s, 70s, 80s of the Sydney Film Festival. It used to be held near their neighborhood in a venue that no longer exists. And they used to go every day and they'd have seats, you know, it was a kind of subscription service where you would actually have your seat in a theater and then movies would play every day, like 10, 2, 4, 8, 9, you know, and they would send different family members down to watch different films.
Oh, wow.
And so you'd be like, all right, who's got seats today and who's got this time? And everyone would go, and it would be like that for 10 days. And it was an annual thing that they did. And that's how the festival used to run back in that era. And so, yeah, I actually do have this history of them being particularly involved with it. And I think they thought it was kind of ridiculous. They ended up working there for 10 years, much, much later on. So, yeah, I do have family history in it.
Very, very cool. Yeah, you just never know where things are gonna, how they come like full circle, right? So what was like the first movie that you saw as a kid and you were just kind of like, wow?
This is like really hard to remember your childhood, right? And remember anything much, but I'm sure it was one of the Disney things. Maybe let's go with like Fantasia or something. I'm pretty sure I was terrified of it because actually that is a scary movie if you're 5 years old.
I don't think I ever finished it.
Totally. It's terrifying. So that's kind of what I remember right now. But I'm sure, you know, things like that really do transport you away and they're a lot of fun. So that's kind of what I remember. And they don't make things like that anymore.
Yeah, well, I think Fantasia was like really an experimental film at the time. I think it's still experimental to today, you know, right. So that's very cool. So tell us a little bit about your career path, you know, so you get started and then, because you've worked, you know, with over 20 film festivals.
Totally.
So tell us a little bit about that.
The thing I always like to talk to people about is that when you leave college or when you get started, it's not like everybody falls into something the next week. It's not like suddenly you're running a big company. I found like most people in their early to mid 20s that those first years were kind of rough. You were piecing together little jobs. You were doing a lot of internships. You were doing a lot of like, great, I've got something, but it's 4 weeks. And you're like, is that enough to pay the rent? Maybe yes, this month, but then I got next month to look at again. And I think that is what it is to build a resume, is sometimes to collect these little jobs and pull them together. And that's what my first couple of years out of college were like. And I was the most junior employee in all of these organizations. And thankfully, though, it was good enough that they would invite you back the next year for a contract that was longer, and I just always try to get across to people that this is a tough business to crack into. It does take time. The people who stick with it, work hard, you're gonna make it. But there are a couple of tough years. And that's exactly what I had. But in the end, I ended up getting a job at Sydney Film Festival, as I said, in the most junior role in the company. Like, I'm pretty sure the people at the top had no idea who I was whatsoever. And at the time, they would have had 50 employees. It was a big festival. I managed to make my way up over 10 years and ended up running all of the operations and marketing for the company. And in ticket sales, we would bring in like $2.2 million in ticket sales. So it was a huge operation. And I did all that from starting at the very, very bottom. But I was grateful that people give you chances. It's a strange business, but once you know how it works, people tend to just hire you again because it's easier to get someone who knows the job rather than, at least knows the culture, than bringing in someone else. So that's kind of how I managed to rise up, is I was like, I'll do it, whatever job came up. And they were like, oh, well, yeah, all right, we'll hire him for that. And managed to just keep going. So I really believe just be willing is the other tip. Like, sometimes you don't know how to do something. That's okay. Be honest about it. Make sure they know that, and then learn it. How I rose through the ranks there is just by being like, I do not know how to do this, but I will in 6 months. So that's kind of how I did it.
Especially if you're the only one raising your hand. It's like, I don't know, but I'll figure it out. You said it, the industry or this business is a little strange. What do you think is like strange about it, or unique perhaps?
I think a lot of these organizations have a small core staff that work all year round, but then they bring in huge teams that work short term, whether that's 6 months, 3 months, 3 days. And so it goes from this little operation to this big one really quickly. And it's just fascinating that you have to be used to that cycle of that off-season, on-season, knowing how to work with people who just turned up yesterday but have a big job to do, then they're already behind on it because you wish the contract was longer, but there's not enough money for that. Like that kind of work. It's the scrappiness of, all right, everybody, guess what? New guest. And then you do it and it's huge and it's like your old family with everybody. And then a few weeks later, everyone's gone. Yeah. And you're back to the small staff that you had before. And you start preparing for the next one. So it's a very strange business in that respect. I think it has a lot of similarities to film production.
I know, I was about to say, it sounds kind of like making a film.
Right?
Yeah.
We really do have that similarity, Some people are great at this, just turning up and figuring it out and making it happen. And other people, it's not for them. And, they love maybe a performing arts venue where they all work frequently with the same people and they get used to it, It's a different type of personalities, but I've always loved the, hey, everybody, let's just rock up, let's just make it happen kind of attitude.
You can volunteer at the Miami Film Festival, right? So how would someone volunteer?
Yeah, we have a sign up on our website, and in particular, we make it very active in the weeks leading up to on sale and then leading up to the festivals themselves. And we have all sorts of roles that we need. But the biggest one, of course, is helping people out at the cinemas, making sure that the ushering goes well, scanning people's tickets in, and just basically making sure that it's smooth operations, People to have a very easy time. They like to ask questions. People love to know where the bathroom is. That's question number one. It really just helps us make everything very smooth. We reward people with access to free films. So you get given a ticket later at the end of your shift to come see another movie with us. And in doing that, you get to kind of come and see cinema. It's a very low-cost way of doing so.
And who knows where it could lead to, because you meet so many people at the festival that it's a great way to network.
Definitely.
You just never know. All right, so we're going to go ahead and take a quick break, but we'll be right back with more from James Woolley, Executive Director of the Miami Film Festival, when we return.
Welcome to Tell Your Story. It is a masterclass hands-on workshop that is presented by Cine Videotech and brought to you by Paradoxical Films. Crafting cinematic vision and lighting engineers with the instructor, Mr. Egon Stefan Jr. You will learn how to work with actual film, 16mm, Super 16mm, 35mm, and film cameras. In addition, how to load them and change magazines. Furthermore, the workshop will prepare you on how and what it takes to work on set as a first or second assistant camera, the fundamentals of lighting, and the pathway to becoming a director of photography. Furthermore, coming soon, unveiling the artistry, a mastering of makeup techniques with the uber-talented special effects makeup artist, Bianca Graciano. She will enrich your knowledge and techniques with professional tools that are implemented in the film industry, commercials, and more. For information about the classes and updates, everything will be posted on our website at www.paradoxicalfilms.com/tell-your-story.
Welcome back, film family, to the Cinema Pathway TV show. I'm your co-host, Dana Della Camera, and today we are talking with the executive director of the Miami Film Festival and the GEMS Film Festival, Mr. James Woolley. So you were talking a little bit about the GEMS Festival. So can you share a little bit about what is the difference between GEMS, Miami Film Festival?
Yeah, totally. So GEMS is our award season festival. It happens every fall, and it's really focused on the films that we think are going to win an Oscar, or at least be nominated. We also throw in a couple of award season favorites, things that have won at Tribeca or Sundance or something, so that the local community can see some of the very best films of the year. But the focus is on awards. That's really what it is. And that's kind of the main thing that we do. We try to bring in some guests who we think will be nominated. We had Sebastian Stan last year. He ended up getting an Oscar nomination for his performance in The Apprentice. And we've got some great people coming this year that I'm very excited about as well, hopefully who will receive nominations too. So it's your chance as an audience to get ahead. You know, you get to see it way before everybody else does. And
That's right.
Yeah, you really get to be a part of it. So it's a lot of fun. Whereas the Miami Film Festival in April is a lot bigger. We play 100 features and 100 shorts. There's a real emphasis on local content, a lot of narratives, shorts, documentaries that are about South Florida. We also do a lot of films from Latin America, which has a much bigger presence and focus in our festival. And it's just really about showcasing a different part of the film community, not just about who's going to win an Oscar. So they're both very, very popular, but they do different things.
In terms of like planning and that kind of a thing, because you were mentioning kind of like how the team grows and, you know, kind of has season, how maybe is that production of GEMS different than Miami Film Fest?
We definitely have less guests and less films, about 35 films and about 8 guests. Whereas in April, we have 100 features, 100 shorts, and I swear, like 200 guests. And so the workload about making sure everyone's very accommodated and all the venues are booked and red carpets and all of that is a lot more work. So
Right.
with GEMS, we run it very light and try our best to spend as little money as possible, to be honest with you. It's just one of those festivals that thankfully is it's very easy to sell because people know the movies are great. It's very easy to run, and we just kind of run it on a very lean team. Whereas in April, we stack up with staff. We absolutely have a huge team. And that's the one that we put a huge amount of focus on.
I know you do know a couple of special guests that are going to be attending the GEMS. Can you tell us a little bit about
who I
who's
can announce
coming?
already
Yes.
is Ethan Hawke will be here doing a conversation on his career, which will be extremely special because he's been in some incredible movies and a couple of great shows as well, actually, over his career. And we've got 2 of his films that we're playing in the GEMS Festival. So that's an absolute highlight. Also announced is Dylan O'Brien, who people might recognize from Teen Wolf or the Maze Runner series. His new film, Twinless, is a riot. It's so funny. It can get a little dark, but it's a really terrific film. And he'll be in person as well to give an extended Q&A on his performance, of which he did win a jury award for at Sundance for Best Actor. So terrific performance. All I can announce today in this particular show, but I do actually expect to have at least 6 more guests, some of which will have very high profile. So check the website, miamifilmfestival.com. This is what we do in our fall festival, in our GEMS festival. It's just terrific. Big name guests. We love it.
Like I said before, the break gives you a reason to come out because, you know, it's just not the same. I know so many people maybe are not going to the theater or watching it at home, but you can't get this type of experience without showing up. So definitely, you know, you want to get your ticket, be part of the community, support, you know, films. Tell us a little bit about the process for the Miami Film Festival of like the submission process, how it works, how do you actually, select the slate of 100 films? How does that work?
Yeah, we do open submissions each year, and any filmmaker that's got a completed film from the last 12 months can submit their film for consideration. From that, we do view them all.
Is there a time limit to that?
Yeah,
to the film?
It's typically about 12 months since production is the rule, but there are, sometimes it can be up to 18 months. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we are looking for films that are completed really in the last year.
But for the length of the film?
Not at all. So if you want to submit an 8-hour film, someone will watch it.
Oh my God,
but
please.
We do have a clarifying runtime for what is considered a short compared to a feature. And while I don't remember that off the top of my head, it's definitely very clear on there. That is the one distinction. If it's under a certain runtime, it is considered a short. If it's above a certain runtime, it's considered a feature.
You submit your film, and then what happens?
So it gets viewed, and the ones that feel right for our festival are the ones that are then sent forward for a second or third viewing by our programming team. What to clarify about that is sometimes phenomenal films aren't selected. We get more great films submitted than there are spaces to play it. If I really wanted to, I could play films all day and all night, all year long, because that's how many great films are submitted. But we typically think about our audience, and we typically think, what does a Miami audience want to see? And what do we think we could put together a package, or if it's a short, like what will feel cohesive in a collection? Or maybe what is a feature that we think there's a particular community that's really looking for this kind of content? And those are the considerations that take place. It's true that there are rejections that go out to great films. So I always tell people it doesn't mean it's not good. Sometimes it's simply about audience and what we feel a city is needing, or what our programming is needing, to make it a really well-balanced program. So that's kind of the considerations that take place. And from there, we end up securing particular titles and making sure, what guests are available and who can come in from all around the world, and put together a program that we think represents what is happening in film at the moment.
Do you guys have like a themes yearly or something like that?
Less so themes than occasionally we'll have countries of focus. Where we think there's something particularly interesting happening in a nation. Otherwise, no, we don't really program by themes. It's much more what is happening in cinema this year that is kind of bubbling up. And do we have a well-rounded program? And by that, it's like, do we have horror films? Do we have like arty films that not everyone will like, but some people will love? Do we have comedies? Do we have things that say something about our society right now? And do we have films that represent the communities that live in Miami? And so we really are looking for films that have something to say about Haiti, about the Dominican Republic. We're looking for films that have something to say about Cuba. It's what the population here represents is also what we're looking for. Not just Hollywood content, but things that people here will be like, that is a film about my family, and I can't wait to go see it. So that's the kind of stuff that we're looking for.
Have you noticed anything bubbling up this year that's new or different?
Very, very interesting. I wouldn't say overly so yet. It's a great question for our programming team as well. But I just think at the moment, a couple of things happening. I think there are more comedies that we're seeing. I think people are all knowing that people need a bit of a laugh, at the moment. But also because production runtimes are so long, that often what we're seeing now is things that people collectively thought of 3 years ago or longer, and so we're actually kind of seeing what people are thinking about a little bit in the past. And that's really interesting as well. What I'm thrilled is that we're continuing to get the number of submissions that we expect, even though there has been a lot happen in the climate for filmmaking in the last 2 or 3 years, whether it was COVID, followed by strikes and lockdown, those kinds of production halts. Funding is really drying up. Tax credits are a real issue in this state. But also the amount of money that a film makes at the box office, I think, is really going down. But people are still being like, that's okay, mine's a winner. We're going to make it anyway. And I love that because you got to go for it.
Yes, absolutely.
And so that's still what we're seeing is that production is healthy still. And I think that is amazing. What filmmakers have achieved in the last 5 years deserves to be commended because it's not been an easy moment.
So what are some of the changes, like the biggest changes that you've seen in the film festival industry over the last few years?
I think people are making their indie features on a lot less money. They're finding ways to really get it done but they're not spending as much. 10 years ago, you'd see a lot of indies at the 10 million mark easy, or more. And that is definitely not the case as much anymore. That mid-budget was what they call it, like range has really much disappeared. And people are often making their films for under $1 million. And that's a big difference. The other thing is that when they have a star, they want you to know. It's like, we got one. It's like, this person has a celebrity and you have to play it. Like, it's because they know that that's what is selling at the moment. It's that kind of star power. But otherwise, it's just, I would say budgets is the big thing. And obviously in theatrical, which is not festivals, but horror is what is performing currently. That is the standout performer. And of course, we play some horror, but our job as well is really to find a lot of those dramas that don't necessarily get a theatrical release.
What do you think about AI and its kind of weaseling its way into...
It's a big topic. I think a lot of you would have followed the strikes and the writer strike in particular, and actor strike, which AI played a huge role in it. They wanted safeguards. I'm sure a lot of people are also seeing lawsuits out there from organizations that are saying, hey, you stole my property to make your AI learn how to create stuff. So there's a lot of copyright issues around there. That's one side of the AI thing where people are really cautious and worried about what this is going to mean for their completed product. And then there's the other side, which is sometimes AI is helping people make their content quicker, or with some certain ease. There are particular parts of the industry which we may see greatly decrease. And examples of that might be visual effects. Could go significantly down in the number of staff that they hire. So it's fascinating because it has its ups and its pluses, and it has other things that people are scared about. And I think collectively as an industry, we're just tackling that. And there will be people who will be like, yes, this is the savior. And other people will be like, sure, be the savior, but I want to know what my copyright is when I want my protections. So I think it's very early. And I can't wait to see what happens. But my other take is it's happening.
Oh, yeah.
There's no stopping it.
There's no stopping.
That's right.
Do you think you would ever open up a category for like AI film?
Yeah, I think it's certainly possible. I think it would be really interesting. And as long as it's very clear that that's what it is, then I think that's fine. I'm not against it. It just needs to be, I think, labeled as such so people understand how it was made. A part of Miami-Dade College as the festival has been with the college for 21 of its 43 years. And they are very invested in the AI future and have the AI center. And I think they see a lot of positives around that. And that encouragement definitely is something that seeps into our team. So it definitely could be a part of the future. I'd be very interested.
I watch sometimes too, I see the work with Magic, with the animation students as well. So I've been following some of the partnerships that Miami-Dade College has been having with the AI Center and Magic. So it's kind of, it's like brewing, but I know that somebody locally is also putting together an AI film festival.
Correct.
So
that's right. And if it's the same people, I thought they all met each other at the Miami Film Festival in April. So again, networking.
Yes, absolutely. You've talked a lot about the programming side, right? And having it be representative of the community and inclusive, because I think that that's so important. I think, people are looking to see themselves, represented in a film. And it's just so great to have it be local here, because there's so many things that are changing as far as funding sources go. We know, we just had some funding challenges or budget approvals and meetings and so forth locally. How has all of that been impacting maybe your sponsor outreach?
So for us, putting on the festival does cost a fair amount of money. And we do fundraise in various ways. We ask for sponsor donations. We ask for individual donations. We get money from our organization, Miami-Dade College, that is our main fiscal sponsor. But grants and government funding are also a big part of that. And that has been tough this last couple of years. I think it's a cycle. And I think that will come back in future years. This is, I think, something that really happens. But organizations like ours find ways through, and we know we have the support of the community, and we're really thrilled about it.
Yeah, you just need to come together. That's really what it is. I think it's really forcing everybody to come together and help each other out and continue. There's great things that can be created when everyone comes together.
Absolutely.
Right? So on that note, we're going to take a short break, but stay tuned. We'll be right back with more of James Woolley.
We want to take this moment to thank our partners that helped us make this show possible. Cine Videotech has provided film equipment, training, and rental services inside and outside the United States since 1968. Theatrical Productions offers consulting, productions, and rental services in Central and South America for a wide range of films, advertising, marketing, commercial projects, and more. Art Accelerator is a non-profit organization that helps emerging artists accelerate their careers through film classes and film industry networking events.
Welcome back to the Cinema Pathway TV show. I'm your co-host, Dana Della Camera, and we are here with the lovely Mr. James Woolley, who is the Executive Director of the Miami Film Festival. We were just kind of talking a little bit in the break about how you can get involved and even become more involved and get more out of the festival this year, perhaps.
So there's a lot of ways, but in particular, we love to see industry at the festival. We really encourage people who are filmmakers or on their way to being big filmmakers to come and engage with our audiences, come and see films, but also come and network. And one of the ways we do that is we have an industry pass. It's a very low cost pass, which basically gets you access to a lot of the films covered by that pass and daily happy hours, which happen at hotels across Miami and provide the opportunity for you to come and meet other local filmmakers, but also meet all the filmmakers that have come in from around the world. And we fly in people from every continent, except for Antarctica, of course. And they come from all over the place. And they are thrilled to be here in Miami, and they just want to meet the local talent. They want to know what's going on. They want to know what it's like here. And they're really desperate to come and meet people. So it's a great opportunity for you to come and do so. And if you want to know who's working around Miami, this is your moment. So we always put the industry passes on sale in the lead up to the festival. So prior to April, for example, make sure you check our website and sign up. It's a great program. You get to see films, you get to meet people. It's perfect.
I mean, it's so fun. The networking, I mean, the parties are great. And it's just a fun thing to do, something different from the norm. And you never know who you're going to run into or where the opportunity could lead, where the networking opportunity can lead. So I always recommend to anyone interested in getting into the film industry or just a lover of film to come and have fun. James, I know that you had said that you're not really like on the filmmaking side per se, but if you did make a film, what do you think it might be about?
Look, I think these days I'd probably lean more towards a documentary. I think that I love the idea of piecing together archival material, and I love the idea of getting new material that kind of cuts in, whether it's interviews or whatever else it may be. I just think the idea of piecing it together is the fun part for me. Do I have a topic in mind? Not necessarily, but I think that's where I would lead. I also like that it's low number of crew because I'll have no money to do this. And so I could just do it in my time and get it done. So that's kind of the lead. But if you see any good stories out there, let me know.
Speaking of that, maybe this is a good time to talk about the Louis.
Yeah, amazing.
What are the Louis?
Thrilled that we have this partnership with the Wolfson family, who are very famous in Miami for creating the first TV station. They also owned a lot of cinemas in Miami. Very, very prominent family in the media space. They have gifted us money to pass on to filmmakers, and we're giving away $100,000 per year to people working in Miami-Dade County on documentaries that focus on South Florida stories. And applications open every October, and in this year they're going to close on November 5. The requirements are you have to be a Miami-Dade County resident. Now that's you as a director, but also could be a producer or a key crew member. So if one of you is in Broward or one of you is in Miami-Dade, that works. And you have to have a South Florida story, and you need to let us know what it is you're making. And that is like, are you doing a feature documentary? Are you doing shorts? Because we do accept those. Have you already shot your documentary, but you need some funds to finish it? It does include some finishing funds. So have a look at the website on Miami Film Festival, and we do accept applications up until November 5. We can't wait to give the money out.
What happens if they're awarded?
Excellent point. So then they actually do get to screen at the Miami Film Festival.
Yay.
And we've already started this because we're about to hit our second year. Some of the films from the first year were completion funds, finishing funds winners. They had already shot most of their movie and we helped them finish it. They debuted in April. to big screenings. Some of them were 800 people in one room, like watching it. So incredible, incredible films. It's great to have the films in Miami Film Festival. These films sell really well. It's a bonus for us as well. We're thrilled to be doing this. So it's good to get more South Florida stories out there.
Very, very cool. And how did that get started?
Again, through the filmmaking network within Miami, it was known that opportunities for funding is the main barrier for creating content in this region. We have incredible talent and incredible ideas. What we're just needing is just a little bit of a leg up for funds. And so it was something that the Wolfson family noticed was a little gap for documentaries, and they needed a partner to help get the money out. And who better to come to than Miami Film Festival?
There's no one better.
It happened organically by people kind of assessing the need of what is required in this particular area.
If your film is selected, you get access to the Wolfsonian or the Wolfson archives.
And that is a saving, because some people, especially if they're making an archival documentary, not everyone is, but some people rely heavily on archives to tell their story. And they do come with fees. And the ability to use the Wolfson archives for free, which is what we grant for winners of this, is an incredible saving on top of the financial input that we give. So some people are saving tens of thousands of dollars. And we're thrilled by that. It's great to be giving the money back, giving back to the community and telling our stories of this neighborhood,
There was like a call for doing a documentary about the...
the Freedom Tower.
The Freedom Tower.
That's right, yes. That was a fantastic little opportunity we had. So for those of you that are following the news, the Freedom Tower is reopening at its 100th birthday. The remodel is extraordinary. World-class museums within there. It is beautiful. But as you walk in, one of the first things you will see is a video that explains the 100 years of the Freedom Tower. And we were able to commission that documentary. It's about 10 minutes in length. Through applications through the local community who put in pictures about how their documentary would tackle the 100 years. And we were thrilled to be able to award that money and have this funded and get into the hands of local filmmakers.
So is it like a resident kind of like piece now at the Freedom Tower, the film?
That's
Wonderful.
right. Everybody who walks through the building will see it. I hope people sit and watch it, but it is now a permanent piece of the museum, which is, the Freedom Tower is now a beautiful museum.
So one of the other things as far as that I wanted to kind of like circle back and touch on is that you do have prizes also for the Miami Film Festival. And I think that that's so important because as you mentioned, the financial need, there's so much talent, right? And it's just about getting a little bit of funding that can really help complete the project. Share a little bit about what are some of the awards that you offer?
The best ones, of course, are the local awards. We have a Maiden MIA Feature Award. Last year, the prize was $60,000 worth of equipment from Panavision, and they were wonderful at being able to provide opportunities for a filmmaker who won to then go on and make the next film at a much lower cost. We also have a Maiden MIA Short Film Award, where the best short receives $5,000. We also have many other awards. Those are open for people from all over the world. Includes the Marimbus Award, which is a $20,000 prize for films, representing their communities, but it's an international award, so it's films from all over the place. And we also have a Jordan Ressler First Feature Award, which is a $10,000 prize for films that are somebody's first feature. We also have a range of other student awards for people who are still in high school or college, which give out small cash prizes for their first, completed work. So lots and lots of money and prizes go out every year on closing night at our award ceremony. And these are all decided by juries. So we bring in people who decide what is the most appropriate winner of that particular category. And then we hand out, whether it's equipment or cash, to make sure that money and opportunities get back into people's hands so that they can make something else. It's a really important part of film festivals. This is often how people make some of their money back.
Definitely helps and can offset either for the current expense or for the next project. Do any filmmakers kind of come to mind, like success stories or whatnot, winners from the last few years?
A wonderful film from recent years is Mountains by Monica Sorrell. That film had already screened across the world. It was already a hit when it came to Miami Film Festival, but we had the hometown screening. We had the screening that was, I think, the most important because it was the community. And they turned up in force. We had 900 people at that particular screening. And they did end up winning the Made in MIA prize, and we were able to get some cash into the filmmakers' hands, which was great. It was a micro-budget feature, but one that they did with such skill and care that you would never know its budget. It was so beautifully done. But every little bit of funding helps make sure that everybody gets paid, that everybody sees that work can contribute to their next work. So we're thrilled to be getting money into their hands. And we're thrilled that was such a local success story. The most recent year was won by a documentary called The Python Hunt, and it is fantastic. It's so much fun. I don't know if you've seen it yet, but it's a wild ride.
Yeah.
It's to me, it has the entertainment value of like a Tiger King kind of style because they found fascinating characters who are in the Everglades hunting pythons. You just can't believe it, you know? And it's a very entertaining film, and it did very well at other festivals like South by Southwest. And it's going to have a wonderful future. We just can't wait for it to get out there where everybody can see it. Because I know as soon as it ends up on a streaming platform, people are going to go crazy for it. And I think that's another real great local success story.
You know, I love seeing when you like launch, essentially you could launch somebody into that next step in their career, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's just so beautiful when you see their trajectory and that they keep going on and achieve more and more success, you know. And then hopefully they come back and they, you know, reinvest kind of back into the community, which is nice. I think the one that I thought, I'm not sure, you know, kind of the future of it, but I thought Ethan Bloom would probably have a future.
There's definitely good news that they'll be announcing at some future time. But that screening, they very much have said thank you for the size and effort we put into it, because that screening was such an incredible experience for them. And they do credit it in part for the wonderful announcement that they're going to eventually be making. But you know, we can only take so much credit. They did a wonderful job of a film. So we're very, very excited for their future. Again, like low budget, but you would never know it, feature made here locally that's going to do really well.
And I think one of the reasons why it's also important, the cash prizes and so forth, because for Mountains, for example, an incredible, beautiful film. I loved it, absolutely. And to your point, you would never know it was, you know, a micro-budget film. So much care went into every single element of the whole thing. But just from a filmmaker standpoint, sometimes you just need that first little pot of seed money. And then when you applied another grant, they're like, oh, Miami Film Festival gave you some money, we'll give you some money. Oh, they give you money? Oh, we'll give you money. Then before you know it, you've got a big enough pot that you can continue. Because I know they were in Woolley film residency as well. So I think it's like, again, when we all come together, we can help uplift and create more opportunities, and then hopefully parlay that into the next, you know, one win, parlay you into that next project, the next win, and the next win, and so on and so forth. So I think it's really important, because not every film festival does, you know, have some type of award like that. And I just think it's really great that you all do, because it is expensive for a filmmaker to come and to submit, and especially if they're flying in from another state a country, or, you know, hotel and car, and like all of this and that. So it's just really, really nice. And I hope more filmmakers submit their films. Are submissions open now?
They are, that's correct. Submissions are open.
Okay,
and the sooner you do it, the cheaper it is, because there is more
early
fees.
bird.
That's right, early bird prices. But we are encouraging as many submissions as possible. We just can't wait to see everybody's great film, you know. And we share the same thing that you want. You made a film, we want people to see it. We want people to see your film too. So let's just get as many submissions as we can.
It's definitely better to submit early than later when everyone else is last minute submitting.
Yeah.
Because, you know, there's not as many this time, so people aren't as like frazzled to like, oh my God, I have to watch like
That's right.
50 films, so you get the full attention it deserves, right?
Yeah.
So, and on that note, we're going to take another short break, but stay tuned. We'll be right back with more with James Woolley.
Cinema Pathway TV, we are committed to bring value to you and our film community as we explore the craft of filmmaking around the world. Also, visit us online at www.paradoxicalfilms.com/shop, where you can purchase Paradoxical Films and Cinema Pathway gear such as hoodies, t-shirts, hats, stickers, and more. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at cinema_pathway_podcast for behind-the-scenes footage, photos, and more.
Welcome back to the Cinema Pathway TV show. I am Dana Della Camera, and with Mr. James Woolley, who is the Executive Director of the Miami Film Festival. We were talking a little bit actually about my favorite celebrity guests from last year was Pamela Anderson for The Last Showgirl. It was such a beautiful, exciting moment for me, again, just kind of growing up with her as a kid, seeing her on TV. And when I saw her last year, I believe it was very soon when Showgirls first came out, there wasn't a lot of buzz about her performance, and everybody was kind of like, oh my god, like, how's this gonna be?
We screen things very early. Often we're screening films when they've only screened 2 or 3 times before anywhere, and so this was one of those examples where it hadn't been seen widely yet, and we were very grateful that she came down to Miami and gave a Q&A afterwards. And we were very blessed that the Hollywood Reporter, Scott Feinberg, did the Q&A. And he had such a wonderful time. He then did even more interviews with her elsewhere, and those are recorded and available. So we played a role in getting the buzz out for that film, and it was just a wonderful experience, and people were thrilled to see her. It was seeing a genuine A-list celebrity from people's youth. They were going crazy. It was great.
It was at the cinema on Lincoln Road, so it was really an intimate venue, right? I mean, she was like right there in front of you, so it was just really, really cool to see. She's always come across as a humble person, that any interview that I've seen, but have her show up that way too. It's just like really nice. You just always want to cheer, at least I always want to cheer people on. You see like, oh wow, they're actually like a really like nice, genuine person that really is just trying to do a good job, and going after her dreams and making them happen. It never goes away for anybody. And that was inspiring to me. I know that, the theater is closing.
That's right.
How is that impacting some of your venues?
Venues is one of the toughest challenges we have because festivals often sell quite well. Cinemas, however, have taken on a different size in recent years. There's a lot of cinemas who have small seating. So 60 seats, 100 seats, 150 seats. But we usually would love a 400 or 500 or 600. And so it's actually very, very difficult for us to find the venues that we really want, especially when we have these guests. It will just get harder, I think, because the market and what we want to do are not on the same track. And I think we'll end up finding ourselves in different kind of spaces rather than traditional cinemas. We're very, very blessed that we had the Olympia back last year, which was a gorgeous theater.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Well over 1,000. Even that takes a lot of care to get the equipment right in there, because there's nothing. There's no projector of any kind. So we have to bring it in. So that's one of the biggest challenges of the job, but it's also one of the most creative parts of the job, is finding how to make venues work for you and then putting particular films in particular areas for certain audiences, and then pairing it with parties or pairing it with happy hours, and just basically making a curated series of events for an audience. That is where we get our creativity from. It's a lot of fun.
We need to have like a FIFA watch party at the stadium or something.
Right, exactly.
Like soccer, maybe Messi can come.
Yes, I would love to have him. He has a production company based in Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah.
So he should be should be coming to the festival.
You heard it here first.
That's right.
I know years ago you all had a beautiful party at the Freedom Tower.
Absolutely, yes. We do hope to have a party at the Freedom Tower this coming April. As I said before, they've done a beautiful job with the renovations. People are going to absolutely love it. So that is in the cards. We're just working on, getting all that locked away.
And for the Lincoln Road Regal, I heard that they're making it an immersive art kind of venue.
Right. Yep.
Who knows how it's gonna when it's all said and done?
Correct.
But it could ideally maybe have a screen or so.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It makes a difference, right? Watching something on your phone when your screen's like this big.
I agree.
Versus,
I agree. I believe in the cinema experience because I think people are, you get distracted by your phone and all of a sudden you've not watched what you're watching for 30 minutes and you could have finished it in that time. I also feel when it's a comedy, it's funnier when the audience is laughing around you, or when it's a drama, it's more impactful and you can hear people crying around you. The cinema experience is very special and should be treasured. And you should really just go do it. Honestly, everyone should go to the movies. Go to the movies right now. After this.
There was one time that I thought was very clever at a film festival where they screened Groundhog Day, and they had it set up on the golf course, and everybody was sitting in like the little golf carts watching the film.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is so
I've seen Jaws in a swimming pool.
Oh, wow!
And I've seen, we did Pride and Prejudice at Vizcaya in an old manor house this year. So
That's
this
so gorgeous.
kind of programming is really, really great and people love it.
That way you're kind of getting 2 for 1 kind of a thing, and Vizcaya is just gorgeous. With I would say with the industry kind of being so, I don't know, I would say in an evolution, maybe a state of change, what advice maybe might you have for, new filmmakers or just anyone in the industry for that matter?
Absolutely. Look, I think it's know the market, especially if your film is going to cost quite a bit of money to make. It's like, know your market. Who are you selling it to? What audiences are coming? Are there particular cities that are going to really respond to the type of content that you're making? I just think have your thoughts about that from the get-go, because potential distributors are going to ask you about it, funders are going to ask you about it, and when you're out in market, you're going to want to capitalize. So I think, I hate to say it, but it's a business as well.
Yeah, so start with the end in mind. Now, just because you're on a streaming platform doesn't mean that, again, going back to your point, it is a business, right?
That's right.
So as far as like marketing goes, that's like the beginning part,
Absolutely.
right?
I think that if you're on a streaming service, congratulations, that's wonderful. But now you're also a tile amongst hundreds of other tiles. Mm-hmm. What is it about your marketing materials and your film that's going to stick out? Again, who is it for that they're going to be like, this is what I'm watching next? Mm-hmm. Because it's great to be on these services, but now you want the views. And I really feel like paying very close attention to what will make you stick out, and the sea of other images just like yours is very, very important.
Where do you see the Miami Film Festival like 10 years from now?
It'll always remain really vital for the local filmmakers and getting the word out. That's really what we are, though. We are a great way of connecting good film with good audiences and putting them together. It's a great opportunity to get word of mouth, to get buzz, to get people talking about it. And even if people don't end up seeing your film during our festival, they might see it in our program guide, take note of it, and make sure they see it when it's out on streaming or when it's out on cinema. We're just a really good tool for getting the word out, and that will not change. I think we're going to remain big and important.
So if there was like a dream guest for you to come to the festival, who would it be?
A tough question, because I think there's too many good answers, but let's go with Nicole Kidman. We went to the same school.
Okay, let's put it out into the universe.
That would be pretty fun. And obviously she's so iconic at the moment with the AMC ads. And I think it's ridiculous that she can make, 8 movies a year. And I think she's just really having her moment, having fun, doing things her way. And people just throw money at her to make whatever she wants. And I love that. So she'd be a great guest. And I just think that would be a lot of fun for us.
Does she have like a film coming out?
She has 100 films coming out. She's never not got a film.
I know. She's so talented.
It's prolific.
She's an icon for sure. Maybe Con Award for Nicole.
Usually the timing, she's always on set. You've got to wait till she's not on set, which is never. True. It's good to see, there was a time when people would talk endlessly about women of a certain age roles, and she's managed to make absolute, constant content, playing characters of a certain age, and good on her. She's making it happen.
So, James, if someone made a film about your life,
Yes.
what actor would you want to play yourself?
That's a great question. I think it'll have to be one of those many up-and-coming Aussie actors. There's always another one that's coming out of somewhere, I'm not sure who it would be, but there's so many. I don't know what they do down there, but there's so much talent that comes out of Australia. It's amazing.
Maybe we can have an Aussie Film Fest, Miami Film Fest exchange from one side of the world to the other. Are you ready for final thoughts, James?
Let's do it.
If somebody else would taste it first, I'd feel much more comfortable. Yeah, I don't know. You can say I'm not sure about that, but that's very kind. Yes, that's very.
Go back and ended up working on it, and it means a lot to me because I think it's a really strong message.
Climate change and gentrification in Miami. It's a movie that I really address like current issue regarding climate change that Miami is going through right now, and I'm happy I was.
The script to me when we reconnected a few years later, and it was such an ambitious story to tell, and it was going to be a hard movie to make for the limited budget that we had, but
All right, let's dive in. The idea is to just say the first thing that comes to your mind.
Deal.
Okay, great, awesome. What's your favorite food?
Pasta.
What's your favorite word?
Fun.
What's your favorite place?
Beach.
What's your favorite movie?
Ooh, too hard.
Okay, 2 favorite movies.
I can't even think of one.
3 favorite movies.
I just love classics. This is so many classics.
Casablanca or The Graduate?
Oh, let's do The Graduate, just because it's so
Yay.
crazy.
How do you wish to be remembered?
Fondly.
If you had to sum up your career thus far in one word, what would it be?
Ambitious.
How can the audience reach you?
One of the best ways is actually to follow the Miami Film Festival on all our socials, because I'm all over it all the time. And it's amazing for you to come and engage with us. So follow Miami Film on Instagram. We're also on all the other social platforms you could imagine. And, it'd be great to see you at the cinema. That's where I want people to follow me. Come say hi at the cinema.
Yes, absolutely. So any words of wisdom you'd like to impart?
Just, again, we'd love to see people actually come by and say hello. So join us at the cinema. We'd love to see you. And go down to your local movie cinema. That's where great movies are found.
So absolutely. So come out, be part of the community, connect. I know with like COVID, it's even myself, I got so used to just being at home that it's like, no, like go and be out in the world now. Take advantage of the opportunity of being out. And you never know what could happen. You never know who you can meet and what opportunity could store to you. And, we were also talking a little bit about how, networking is so critical because to make a film, it takes a village.
That's right.
And a lot of times, unless you want to be like a one-person show and do everything yourself, having that team, I call it like your creative tribe, to kind of bounce ideas off and kind of share the workload and have it be a community experience. That's where you're going to find these people, is at these events. Because filmmakers go to film events. And also, film appreciators are equally as important. We need you. So come on, support your local community, get inspired, come and support and have a great time. James, thank you so much for coming and being our guest today.
Thank you for having me.
Enjoyed having you. You are welcome back anytime. We have reached the end of our episode. To our audience, stay tuned for the Cinema Pathway podcast, which is now streaming on your favorite podcast platform. Without further ado, thanks for tuning in, and that's a wrap.
Lights